painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking, KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Artbeat. Artbeat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Artbeat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Today on Artbeat, we get an inside look at the 2025 International Digital Media Arts Association Conference and Exhibition, which took place in October of 2025 on the campus of Winona State University. iDMAa explores and celebrates the creation of many types of media made by people from all over the world. This year's exhibition focuses on folk media in the digital age. Today, we hear from UnderAcademy College Probationary Provost Marino. UnderAcademy College describes itself as an unaccredited undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate anti-degree institution. The institution states that its primary mission is to remain open, marginal, and unaccredited. According to founder and president Talon Mehmet, UnderAcademy is not anti-academic, it is under, like under the influence of the academy. And we are not a university. We are called a college because of its phonological proximity to collage. Collage. I'm Bill Stoneberg, inviting you to join us as KQAL's Kristine Osorio takes us behind the curtain with the probationary provost of UnderAcademy College, Marino. Today on Artbeat.
Hi, my name is Marino, and I am the provisional provost of UnderAcademy College. With another hat on, I teach writing at the University of Southern California. And today I was presenting about UnderAcademy College, which is a very unique institution. We're an unaccredited, non-credit bearing, non-credential offering alternative institution in the model of Black Mountain College and the Flying Universities of Poland.
Wow, and that was something cool. I didn't know that you took inspiration from a place called Black Mountain College. Sorry, was that?
Oh yeah, right. Which is a very radical place. You know, again, where so many. It was the home of the avant-garde, really, in the first part of the 20th century, and so many people that we've heard of in the arts scene, or who transformed arts in the United States, had a connection to this place in Appalachia. Again, maybe the last place on earth you would think would be a cultural center, but a place where they found a lot of freedom, and that's kind of the secret, I think.
Awesome. So then, how did you get involved with this non-institution institution?
Good question. So it was on my radar for a while, but then in trying to think of the year. Yeah, the year escapes me, but at some point I had this idea for a class called Grammar Porn, about people who like grammatical rules a little too much. And as a writing teacher, lifelong writing teacher, that was me. And I taught this class. It was just over the summer. It lasted maybe 2 weeks, I think. And I started to come up with the most ridiculous assignments I could come up with. And the students were so incredible. The things that they responded with were so creative, so interesting, so fascinating, and so delightful. Like, again, I started my talk, part of my talk was about bringing joy back to teaching. And that was such a joy-filled experience. And suddenly I noticed, wow, when you take away some of the structures of education, you open up a possibility for learning in a way that you can't. Like, the structures, like, even though they make education possible on some level, they also inhibit a lot of education.
Yeah, and I really like that a lot. You know, it kind of gives freedom to the students a bit, not too much like having structure, kind of like maybe keeping them in a box. You know, if you let them roam a little bit, you can see how they kind of turn the gears and learning new things, right? There it is.
And so you think about how you learned so many things, right? Like you learned how to walk, or you learned the way parents can love each other, right? And that didn't happen in a classroom by any means, right? And it's not that there aren't things that benefit from a bit of structure or a classroom environment or things like that. But again, drawing on the Brazilian educational theorist Paulo Freire, he had a model that was, he suspected that a lot of education is about, sit there, shut up, listen, receive, learn how to be obedient kind of thing. as opposed to I'm going to engage you with problems and you're going to think creatively about them with other people, and then you're going to be invested in the solution, and then you're going to grow through that experience. So it's just a different orientation towards students, where you don't see them as someone that you have to put obstacles in front of their way so that they can trip over them, but instead, if you give them a box of Legos, maybe they'll build a castle, or maybe they'll build, a garden. Who knows? You can make a lot of things out of Legos, as it turns out.
Right? Like the possibilities are endless. I was not going to say.
Yeah, and then it's also, again, like the difference between, I have to digress, because we're called digressors at UnderAcademy.
Yes, there are.
But the difference between like those Lego kits where you can only build one thing out of them and you follow directions. Some people really like that. That's fine. Or what did they call them in the movies? The master builders. People who could take any of the parts and they could build whatever they want. And again, when I think about people who are even here who are part of our digressing faculty, Patrick Lichty, Davin Heckman, or our founder, Talon Mehmet, they are people who love to give students the box of Legos, or as they said today, and a banana and an Arduino, and they say, now do something with it, right? And again, it opens up so many more possibilities that it's exciting. Yeah,
I've had Patrick Lichty, and I'm experiencing that free go at it like environment, and it's pretty interesting. I think I'm learning a lot more than if everything were like more structured or something. It's an experience, really. It's cool.
And it's something that'll set you up for life, right? Because I'm pretty sure when you get out of here, life doesn't look like a bunch of obstacles. It looks like infinite possibilities and a box of things that you come across that you can make things out of with other people,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And would you say there are some challenges when it comes to, being part of the faculty?
They're a pretty quirky bunch, as their provost, trying to get them to. There's a little bit of cat herding involved as we try to get them to propose new courses and things like that. But usually, once you get the ball rolling with this crowd, it snowballs rather quickly. And since every student is a digressor. And since you've just participated, really, you're on the faculty now, too. So you let me know, are you going to be a problem, or are you going to make it easy? That's one of the things that happens when you get rid of bureaucracy, when you don't have to have an institution. And I mean, again, there's also not money changing hands here either, is that you get rid of those kinds of expectations that cause problems between human beings, too, right? So it's like... whatever courses we offer at any given time, those are the courses we offer. And if there are things we don't offer, then we don't offer them. And it's not that sense of that sort of capitalist model of like, no, you got to deliver so many widgets at a rate of whatever, so you can charge whatever. No, it's like, do you feel like teaching something? Okay, let's teach it.
Yeah. Have you retaught the same classes before, or are you always trying to change it up?
I don't think. No, I've not taught the same. I can't seem to teach the same class twice, but it might be fun at some point to try to return to something.
Bring back grammar for us.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, I would enjoy that. But also, let me put it this way. So if you've probably noticed this, that like UnderAcademy is also like a little bit of performance art. Like it's a little bit of provocation. So when we teach how to read and write fake news, we're not advocating the destruction of truth like perhaps other people are, but we're interrogating something that we see as maybe like a dangerous part of our culture. And we're going to do it in maybe with a little bit of a satirical approach that lets us be a little bit more fearless, but also where the course title itself might be a provocation to people who hear it for the first time, and then might get them thinking. And I'll tell you, like a lot of what I do in UnderAcademy has transformed what I do in my regular teaching job too. And if nothing else, that it always keeps in the back of my mind the way things could be. like how much fun it could be, how it doesn't have to be, I don't have to go and do all the things that happened in classes that I took anymore. That said, I did, I went, my undergraduate, I went to Brown University where we didn't have grades and we didn't have majors. And I had a professor who taught me Renaissance literature who crawled around on the floor with me and another student as we played sheep in a reenactment of the scene from one of these Renaissance tales. But that moment stayed with me longer than almost any other educational moment I've had in my entire life. Or like a conference run by Robert Coover, academic conference, where as an undergraduate he had these big barrels of beer, Sam Adams beer, and he's just like, yeah, just have one if you want. I mean, again, I don't know if they could even do that now, but they were people who didn't stand on ceremony. They didn't need to be propped up or honored, or they didn't need reassurance of their own dignity. They were just in it to be with us in the learning moment, however it unfolded. And that's the thing that, Anna Knocker's class about the breath library opens up. And that's the class that Patrick's experiments open up and things like that. And that make it possible because you're letting whatever emerges happen, and you're not following a routine. You're not just like walking in line, waiting in line to register and then waiting in line to graduate and then waiting in line for your first paycheck. It's a free space, the way I'd love to see university education return to, that student debt and other things tend to tamp down, I think, in unfortunate ways. In what really could be the most exciting moment of your life, like really the most liberating part of your life could be this university moment, and so often it's not, so.
Yeah, like everyone's experience is different. So, what do you think people should take away from your presentation?
Hopefully the lyrics to the alma mater,
all right.
And then maybe hopefully a desire to up their hat game a little bit, I'm thinking. But no, most of all, I hope people walk away from the experience with a sense that if there's something that's making them unhappy about anything related to education, just start to poke at it a little bit and say, does it really have to be this way? Like maybe it doesn't have to be this way. And then to always to feed that creative imagination that asks the question, that lets you just open up your mind and say, what if it were all radically different? Could we get someplace that you'd rather be at? And I think that's delightful.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for...
Thanks again to UnderAcademy College Probationary Provost Mark Marino for joining us today on ArtBeat. To learn more about UnderAcademy College, check out their Facebook, WordPress blog, or go to underacademy.org. To learn more about the iDMAa conference and exhibition, you can visit their website at iDMAa.org. For more conversations on art, tune into ArtBeat Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. For links to podcasts of ArtBeat and other KQAL original programming, go to kqal.org. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from KQAL's Kristine Osorio and UnderAcademy College Probationary Provost Mark Marino today on ArtBeat.
ArtBeat is written and produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.